What's up, legends, and welcome to the new studio. If you're new here, I'm Mark from Legendary Makes, and we have just built this new studio and 3D print farm, as you can see behind me. Super excited to have a new workspace, super excited to have something I'm proud of that I built from scratch, and excited to bring you guys on the journey. This is the first video that we're gonna have on this channel. I want to let you know kind of what the channel is going to be about. I love 3D printing. I love 3D printing computer type stuff for cases, GPU shrouds, motherboard stuff, and even cooling solutions for CPUs and graphics cards. So a lot of the stuff will be kind of focused on that, but not limited to that. I do want to branch out and do a lot of other things, and I was going to treat the stuff behind me as kind of like a Minecraft situation, if that makes sense for any gamers out there. There's a lot of things I need. I kind of already have this built out, but it's just the bare bones. Like on the cubbies behind me, you can see I have some tools, but they're just laid on the surface of the cubbies. I want to create some either custom designed like holders for my tools, or just other like cool little fun things. I plan on putting like my logo back here, something like that. And then I have some room on this wall and this wall over here, which I want to install some soundproof panels behind these printers here, because behind me is a neighbor, and I think they're bedrooms, like right there. So if I can get some soundproofing in here a little bit. The A ones don't matter so much, except for when they're starting up, they do the vibration compensation. But these P1Ss, they're so loud. I'm probably sure you can hear the humming right now. Hopefully that's not too distracting. But yeah, so this channel is gonna be starting from the ground up, essentially. This is the first day in the workshop where I've got orders finally printing, catching up on backlogs. And yeah, and the next few videos are, I'm gonna show you kind of where I came from, the other shop that we had, the other workspace, kind of disassembling that and the struggles I had with that, because I had to get rid of a lot of stuff. It took a long time, a lot of planning, not only selling some stuff I didn't need, even taking stuff to the scrapyard. I had a bunch of metal and PC server cases, and I took all the stuff that I could get out of it, and gonna try and sell that on eBay or whatever. But all that metal stuff, you can't really ship that, so took it to the scrapyard, called it good. And then just moving my actual studio, my editing PC, all that sort of stuff. It was a big process, and like downsizing an entire basement into this 12 by 12 foot room. But I've got so much organization happening in here. It's quite insane. And I'll take you on that journey as well too, because I love organizing and I love trying to make things as efficient as possible. And this was the perfect opportunity to force me into that, and really hone in on that, making things super organized. We'll also, as I've kind of been talking about, is show you the setup. What I went from zero, empty room, and had this vision of like how I wanted this, which I've had a few months to kind of visualize how this is gonna go, and to what it is now, and like my shelf placement, what I got with these cabinets and cupboards here, where my workspace is, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where this channel is going to start off, and just be on the lookout for new content. If any of this is like interesting to you, be sure to share it, like, subscribe, and like I said, share. If you have friends that are big 3D printing geeks, nerds, whatever, like me, tell them that I'm around, that I'm here. So without further ado, we're gonna roll into some beginning footage of where this started. All right, we're making progress. I finally think I got a spot for all this stuff here. This is gonna go to a recycling center. This is all the shredded cardboard that I did on one of my videos. So that's gonna go to a recycling center. This I'm still trying to figure out. This is all my waste product or prototyping, all that sort of stuff. This bag's kind of full too of all this mostly PETG. I think it's all PETG filament. I'm gonna have to look up to see if that's a recyclable thing. If so, awesome, great. I think it is. I think PLA and PETG are both recyclable. So yeah, that's a lot of, I wouldn't say waste, but it's a lot of, I guess, byproduct, I guess, from prototyping and, you know, failed prints or just me learning and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully we can start cutting this down with better designs by myself, and just kind of going about things a little bit differently when prototyping, trying to use as little bit of material as possible. So that's an update on that. Me again. I have an idea I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to sell all my Bamboo Lab A1 printers. I think I could probably get 1,500-ish for all 5 of them, and buy 2 more P1Ss. So I'll be downsizing from, 7 total right now, but before I bought my other 2 P1Ss, I had 5. So 5 was pretty much the farm. So I'm thinking of doing that. So I downsized to 4, but they are a higher quality machine. I could do a lot more filaments, and I'm going to be kind of power limited anyways at the new place, because I do still plan on mining a little bit. It's going to be CPU mining and stuff. So I think that's the plan. I might as well upgrade these. They all have about, I think, 2,000 to 2,500 print hours, and that's in 6 months. So that's a lot of printing. But I think essentially these are made to go like 10,000 hours before you have to really start swapping some parts. But even still, like, you can get all that stuff on Bamboo Lab. You can rebuild these from scratch essentially. But yeah, it's kind of the plan. But yeah, this is Past Mark signing off. Whew, a little winded. It's a lot of cardboard. Pretty much got all of this stuff in the bin outside. There was a bunch here. I gotta still figure out what to do with all this shredded cardboard. But I'll show you the bin outside. It is maxed out. All right, this whole bin full of cardboard, and this is just one trip. And they do recycling every other week here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of the cardboard. So maybe I can see if my work will let me use their recycling thing. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, all this. You do see a full roll of filament there, because that is this poly. This camera sucks so bad. Yeah. It is a full roll there because this filament sucks. I don't know. It's PETG Polymaker. Polymaker's supposed to be good, but I've had nothing but issues with Polymaker and their PETG, and that's the only thing I've tried. I haven't tried any of their PLA, so I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not doing something right, but I'm just going to go back to old trustees, Bamboo Lab filament, and Overture as my second. So yeah, quick update. Quick idea here and update. I kind of got overzealous with this cardboard shredding idea that I had. I got a video on that if you guys want to check that out. But I thought I could shred a bunch of cardboard and turn it into packing material, which I think you can. But I'm not going to have the means to do that anymore since I won't have this basement. Here's what it looks like here. I've got a ton, 3 full boxes. And I know how to use this, so if anybody wants to run with this idea, because I certainly can't, I thought about getting a compost tumbler and tumbling that cardboard, because it's kind of dusty and it's going to get all over your product. But if you throw it in a compost tumbler, which they're pretty cheap, I think they're like $50, and you spray some sort of like spray paint or some sort of glue, I would think spray paint would be the best idea, because you can kind of color it a little bit, make it a little more festive within the stuff that you're shipping. I think that'd be an awesome idea. So you tumble it, spray paint in there as you're tumbling it. What it's going to do, it's going to catch all that dust and it's going to stick to itself in the tumbler, and you'll still have the individual pieces of cardboard. I think it's a good idea. It's not fleshed out, obviously, so I won't be able to finish up the idea, but anybody watching this wants to run with that idea, I think it'd be a cool thing to show. But it's in your hands, so whoever wants to run on that idea, try it out. All right, another day, another me. We are still in the middle of packing, and there's a lot of stuff. Let me turn this thing around here, see where we're at. So I kind of went through some of the stuff over there, got rid of a bunch of boxes. I'm gonna go to IKEA in a couple hours here. God, this camera sucks so bad. You have to press this joystick, otherwise it freaks out. Anyways, get a bunch more of these boxes here. And I had a lot of stuff in I reused some boxes that I got from shipping and stuff. But I'm gonna spend some money and get a bunch of these little plastic boxes. That way I can have everything organized in a clear see-through type of thing so I can see what's in there. I won't have to exactly label it. A lot of my boxes, I had all that stuff in these types of boxes here, so I'm breaking those down, throwing those into the recycling. I got all that cleared up above the tents. I had a bunch of stuff up there, so that's cleared out. But still, stuff is kind of all over the place, but we are making some progress. I had a bunch of boxes under here. I got all those broken down. This is kind of getting broken down here. I'm gonna throw all these motherboards here into a big giant bin. I'm gonna have a bunch of these totes right here. These are all empty. I think I got 3 right there, including this one here. So I'm gonna throw all the motherboards in there. Probably won't break this thing down. This is still a work in progress. Probably put all my power supplies into another box. I got, I don't know, 10 or so power supplies. This is coming along. I'll probably just throw all this into one box and I can break down these. These are all like wine boxes and stuff from my old job. They were just throwing them out, so I figured I reuse them, and that's what I did. But I'll definitely have a better aesthetic and not gonna use these anymore. I'm gonna turn these into a plant stand. I got a bunch more upstairs. And we used to have like a giant plant stand that had all these boxes kind of put together. It's kind of cool. So that's probably what I'll do with those. Shipping station, this is kind of in question, how I'm gonna fit this. If I can get some sort of rack and get all this to fit above what I've kind of already, so if I can get some sort of rack that can go above a table, I'm not gonna use these plastic tables anymore. I have actual legit tables coming in. If I can get some sort of rack that goes on top, and then I can have like the organization more vertical. I'm kind of thinking that's the way to go about it, but like I said, I don't know yet because I don't know the space. I have it kind of mapped out. I kind of have it mapped out, but until I get in there and actually map it out like physically, because I do have the dimensions now, but that's just what the websites tell me. And then I got to see what kind of things are available to kind of piece together and make like a shipping station. I know this one website has like, see, I don't know what it's doing. This camera sucks. Hope you hear me. What is this? DJI. I hope you hear me. I'm hoping there's this website that has like a legitimate shipping station. It's like a really nice top stand height. Then it's got some like racks where you can put boxes and stuff. I gotta look at what that site's called. I can't remember off the top of my hand. Can't remember off the top of my head. Got too much going on right now. What that website is, but I'll look up that website. And I think I should probably show you all the stuff I've got it over here. This is just old crypto mining stuff, old cases. I gotta figure out what to do with these cases. Other old cases here. Geez, what are you doing, camera? So, I gotta baby this camera so bad, it sucks. Gotta figure out what to do with these cases, more old cases. Hold on, we'll get there. These are just GPU riser mining cases. I don't even know what you call them at this point. But they've been decommissioned for a while because I have all my stuff being hosted somewhere else. But yeah, so I got to figure out what to do with all this stuff. This is all kind of organized, but I'm going to put these in the IKEA bins because they're all stackable. That way they're all the same, easy to stack. This is just a rack. I'm tripping over stuff here. Rack here that I'll probably reuse in the, right here. So this rack here, I'm probably going to reuse in my new room that I'm going to have for my content creation and my printing farm. I have two narrow ones. So this is, I think, like 3 feet-ish. The other ones are about half. maybe not. Maybe they're a little bit more, but the new P1Ps that I ordered in, P1Ss, I don't know, whatever. I think they fit on that other one that I have that's about this deep perfectly. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with these. It's a little overkill for filament because what I've got over here, I've got these, I've got my filament on here, and it's just too deep. It's like unnecessary. I mean, yeah, I've got it kind of, oh my God, camera, I hate you. I kind of got it like doubled up here and here, but I think it's just too deep. Maybe I could repurpose this for the living room or whatever. And then I've got my supplies, print heads, hot heads, all that sort of stuff down here for whenever anything goes out of service, I can quickly swap. So that's where we're at now. Anyways, bunch of cardboard here. I gotta get rid of this stuff. All that back there is just empty boxes, so I'll break all that down. But I think I'm making some good headway. Sorry about the rant on that camera, but this camera is meant to be mobile. It is not. All right, so we're upstairs here, and this is my studio space. It's kind of emptied out here. We've been slowly packing up. So it used to have like shelves over here and shelves over there and stuff. Kind of, you know, just fun decor and all that sort of stuff up here. But this is basically what I am using for my CAD software and making designs and stuff like that. This is my computer that I'm using, very gamer-esque. I used to be into gaming, still kind of am, but just not as much anymore because I don't have time. So yeah, giant monitor, secondary monitor. The problem is I have is this is an OLED monitor. And so when I'm on Fusion, it's a kind of a static picture. So I think I need to kind of maybe figure out a different monitor situation because I don't want to get burn-in on OLEDs. If you're not aware, OLEDs can get burn-in if they're left with the static picture for extended periods of time. So that is kind of a worry for me. And then this is the desk. I'm going to see if I can try to fit this back half of the desk that the monitor's on into the closet, into the new workspace, so I can kind of save that space. The room is 12-ish by 12-ish feet. So the more room I can save, the better. And then I think, so this will be like on the outside of the closet. I don't know how long the closet is, so that's kind of pending up in the air. If that doesn't work out, then I might have to do a different desk situation. But I really do like this desk because I've got so much room on this side and on this side for my notepad, my grid pad for when I'm actually sketching out designs and stuff like that. So I do like this desk, but I might work on getting something more of like the L desk or something that would come out. Let me switch this around. That would come out this way. So it would go, God, this camera sucks so bad. I have the Osmo Pocket 3 and it is probably one of the worst cameras I've had. It's so hard to control. So it goes an L desk essentially this way and then come this way. And then I could have the side space over here to work on certain things. And I might be able to get another monitor to come out this way so I can have an LCD crappy $200, I don't know, Fire Stick monitor or whatever that I could do Fusion and designing on. And then I can still have my regular gaming monitor for when I'm gaming, if I game, whatever. And so that's kind of the idea with all this. And like I said, I'm trying to reuse stuff. So if I can reuse this desk, cool. That's not extra money I have to spend. But like I said, it really is going to depend on the closet space. So these shelves here are what I'm going to be using to put the 3D printers on. I think I can fit both of the P1Ps on here, stacked like high and then mid height, I guess. And these are just the racks, and these are the IKEA ones, and they are kind of like flimsy and kind of wobbly, but I think if I just anchor them to the wall, I think that's going to solve all my problems or all the issues with it not being super sturdy. So that's the plan for that, because I don't want to use the racks that I have down in the basement because they're industrial looking, not very aesthetic. So yeah, that's the plan with that. What else do I have up here? I think that's it. Everything's pretty much packed up. So pretty much ahead of the game on packing and stuff. Usually kind of wait, maybe not to the last minute, but maybe kind of to the last minute, but this time weeks ahead of schedule. So yeah, that's what I got here. And I think I'm gonna go down, because I got those P1P printers a couple days ago. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna open them up to make sure that they're good. I saw on Off the Bench's last video, check him out by the way, that he got one of his printers in with the broken glass. So I just want to make sure I don't have that issue, and if I do, then I can at least send in a claim or a ticket or whatever as soon as possible. So let's go down there and we'll check out those printers. All right, so here are the P1Ss. I think I kept calling them P1PS, but yeah, the P1Ss here. Got two of them, got the Pros down there, and then some extra filament, and then just the extra hookup accessories for the AMS2 Pro. But yeah, I'm gonna open these two just to make sure they're not busted in there, the glass. Hopefully not, so I don't have to worry about that, but we'll find out. Oh yeah. Whew, these are heavy. All right, hopefully these are good. Again, people use safety cutters. I see a lot of people using knives, and sometimes in their next video, I see them, they have a Band-Aid on their finger because they probably cut themselves. Just use these safety cutters. They work. Retract automatically. They're so easy. What's the best way to get this out? I guess, yeah, cut the plastic here and then probably slide it out. I don't want to cut the box on the side because I still have to move. So I think, well, can I just lift it straight out? I don't want to do that either though. I just want to check to see if the glass is intact. That's like my only thing. I think this is the front, so let's just do this. And then we'll slide it out a little bit, and then hopefully it'll slide back in with no issues. So this looks like the front. I don't know. I might be able to just pull it up, actually. Okay, yeah. So this looks like it's all black, so I can't really tell which is the front. Okay, front. Looks good. Whew. All right, that one's good. Hopefully these just go right back in. Forget which side these are. Nice. Yeah, moving your workshop and your 3D printing business and kind of revamping that all in one go, it's kind of a lot of moving parts. Oh, extra, whatever. All right, hopefully this one's good too. Oops. All right, so cut this. And I think this is the front. Cool, this one's intact too. We're golden. Yeah, I guess on the bench just had some tough luck. Sorry, bud. Hopefully they get that replaced for you soon and isn't too much of a hassle, so. All right, so let's do a little, I guess, final closure moment here for my tent. This is kind of the setup that I've had down here in the basement. And hopefully this is gonna be upgraded to a much better aesthetic appearance on the new layout of the new place that I'm getting in the new workshop / studio. So Let's turn this camera around and kind of see and go through here and see what I've been working with. All right, so this is kind of how I've had my tent set up. I've got an order that just came through. I finished printing these out. This is for the BC 250 clusters. They wanted the red edition, so I got to put that together. But yeah, so that's why I have so many printers, is these kind of take up a lot of space. Anyways, so yeah, so I've got the spools kind of just chilling here. I made a little bracket for these to go on right here. So this is just the original spool holder from the Bamboo one. I guess I could take that off. From the Bamboo A1, the original spool holder. And then I just made this little adapter for it to snap onto. That adapter goes into these little holes here. And it saved some space for sure. And then I made these little guys. This is just the original Bamboo. This was on the Maker World or whatever. I just sliced it up, kind of made it a little bit bigger so I can fit my isopropyl alcohol bottle and a microfiber towel, so when I wipe off the plates, all fits in here. And then I just threw in some little, these guys here, so it fits right into these holes, and it comes out like that. So that's kind of how I had that set up. And is that too low? It's gonna bother me if it's not the same side, right height as the other side. Oh my God, yep, one more down. Okay, bear with me. Side snips. These are little, I don't even know what you call these things. Yeah, essentially what I use these for is like if I need to wipe off the nozzle, if there's some extra filament hanging around here, especially like if I'm going from like a white to black, I don't want that extra filament later getting mixed in, you know, with the print. So I'll wipe this off. And then I also use this to lube the rails too. So I'll throw lube in there, and then I can spread it across with these guys. And the same thing when you lube these rails down here. Actually, I don't use it for those because that kind of just spreads itself. I just put a pretty big line of lube on there, and that's essentially what these are for. And that's why I've got this long end on here. So I'll just go in there and just slide all the way down and let it do its thing. Plunger here for lubing the Z rails. Over here, I just go in here and then lube it all the way up, and I just let it sit there, and as the machine works, goes up and down, it spreads that lube for me. Let's see. And yeah, and so dehumidifier down here, I actually have it off because it's full. I haven't emptied it yet. I've been so busy with moving and stuff, so that's the least of my priorities right now. And then these spool holders for extra filament. Printed these guys out. Real simple and easy. Designed this in, I don't know, 30 minutes. And so the extra filament just hangs out on these spools here. So here, let's get this off the ground. Same thing here. Boom. Sorry. Yeah. And they just hang out there. This one kind of hits the ground because it's so low. And what else here? And yeah, this is just my empty filament spool thing. So all my empties go on here. Kind of keeps them neat and organized. But the new place, I'm not gonna be using this tent. This tent, it works definitely. If you have this environment and you have these A1s and you want to keep it temperature controlled, works really well. I usually get it up to about 83 to 85. I've got a temperature reader here and all that sort of stuff, and a couple mining equipment down here. So what that does is I just let those mine, and it keeps this tent pretty warm, and it kind of serves a dual purpose. Obviously, I'm a crypto miner and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I use those miners to keep the tents warm, keeps the ambient temperature inside these tents when they're closed steady, 83 to 85-ish. So yeah, we're not going to be using the tent. We're not going to be using this rack. I do have a rack up in my studio, which is upstairs, and that's what I'm eventually doing is I'm combining my print farm, shipping station, all that sort of stuff, and studio into one room at the new place. So I do, in my studio upstairs, I do have some racks in there that I'm going to repurpose. They're IKEA ones. They are kind of flimsy, but I still think they work. I think all you need to do is anchor them to the wall. So that's the plan, is to reuse those. I'm trying to spend I'm trying to reuse as much equipment as I have now, so I don't have to spend as much money. I'd rather spend that money on printers, in which I've got 2 new P1Ss with the new AMS2 Pros. And I actually ordered another AMS2 Pro so I could do for 8 colors. Yeah, so 8 colors on one, 4 colors on the other one. I won't sacrifice aesthetics. I do want it to be a nice, chill, vibey room for not only myself, but for my content and for you guys watching, right? Right now, I can't stand the background here. I think it sucks, you know, so it does really bother me. It just doesn't look professional, I guess, if that's the word. I do want it to be more appealing for you guys and even for myself. And then this setup over here, I probably will only just need 1 monitor. This is my shipping station. So I'll have 1 monitor. This is my the actual shipping station. I could probably and hopefully fit it all onto one area. Space, this is all the parts and pieces for my, my BC250 cluster and blade. So I can get rid of, or at least condense a lot of this stuff. This is another thing that I made for phone mining. I just have one printed just in case I sell one. I've got it ready to go. And some of this other stuff I don't need. These are some extra fan grills I'll probably just toss, unfortunately. And then some like coasters. I really don't need these anymore. Nobody really bought these. I might keep these for when I mess up and don't get something out. And I usually send these out for free, like with that, because there's been 2 orders that I missed and they were like a day or 2 late. So I just threw those in for free. I think I even have like keychains in here. I'll probably keep those. And then I have these little fan covers here for the BC250 rigs. Nobody really seemed to be interested in these. I thought they're pretty cool. They're just dust covers for the entire ASRock case. So, I mean, I might keep those. I might chuck them and then print them on a needed basis. I don't know if anybody's really buying them. Just cutting board down there. That's some shrouds for the ASRock case. But yeah, I can definitely condense this. But yeah, if you look at it, like this shelf is pointless. Like doesn't need to be anything on here. These are just empty boxes here, right? So I can do something like that. The big rolls go on here, so that might be a thing. I don't know. I did see some desks that you can buy from, I can't remember the website, but it's like a print and shipping station where the back of it has essentially what this is here, where it's got like a bar for like this bubble wrap and stuff like that. So that's gonna be something to figure out. These can be condensed. Those are just little bubble mailers. This is just extra stuffing that I use, kind of recycling spot for extra fill and just more boxes and stuff. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. This is probably gonna be a 2-part series of, you know, tearing down the old shop and kind of how all that went and the pain it was. So that's it for this video. We'll have another video wrapping that up, and then we've got probably 2 more episodes on building this place. So be on the lookout for that. And then after we get that out of the way, that'll give me some time to kind of like get some ideas together on what I'm going to be printing, the different projects I want to get into and all that sort of stuff. So be on the lookout. We'll see you on the next one.